Good evening and welcome to the Mancunian Way, where I have got a great panel on tonight. And yeah, let's have a look at who we've got. We've got Luke, Alan, Rich, and Fee. Nice to have you back, Fee. Been a while.
Yep, nice to be back. I know. Back now.
We were going to start putting your face on milk cartons, but
yeah.
You know, luckily,
AWOL in the Canary Islands. I apologise.
Good to have you back. And of course, Rich, he's away at the moment. He's with us. Thank you, Rich.
Yeah, I'm in a very, very cold
off guard, obviously.
Melbourne.
Give over. Are you soft?
My mouth's frozen.
Oh, yeah, really is cold. Oh, yeah.
It's about
just before we came on, these two were arguing about how cold it is in Australia.
No.
Me, Luke, yeah, try the high peak. High peak at this time of year is there.
Not Sydney's fine.
Right,
Sydney just rains.
It was raining yesterday.
It doesn't rain at all. I don't know. You two have been out of the country far too long to have an opinion. Yep. Right, so tonight we are going to be talking about a little thing that's going to be happening at the weekend, the derby. And we'll also be talking about two, probably the greatest giants of the sport, managerial-wise. Of course, Pep versus Ferguson. That's going to be an interesting debate, I have no doubt. But first, let's get on to it, shall we? We will hopefully have Martin and Pat on, but Martin has put in the comments that obviously he isn't able to join us at the moment. He is dealing with his dad. A lot of you understand that, and we all just really wish Martin, his family, and his dad especially, all of our best. And Pat isn't feeling particularly that great at the moment. He hasn't got the excuse like Alan of having a bit of a hangover. He's just not feeling too well, but hopefully he will join us as well. So, yeah, let's get on to the derby, shall we? Obviously, it feels like it's like, who's fit for this game? You know, we're looking at all the injuries coming in, and you know, it's probably easier just to kind of go who's fit than not fit really right now. Yeah, I mean the list seems just like as long as my arm. I mean, we only heard recently, I think it was yesterday, it's confirmed that Omar Mamouche has got a knock to his knee. The full extent of the injury isn't yet known. But he's due in Manchester to have that kind of scanned and looked at by the medical staff at City. So I'm sure when Pep comes out in his press conference tomorrow, I'm sure he'll have some sort of answer, hopefully, on the length of time that Mamouche might be out for. We're still not sure on Savio if he will be fit. Phil Foden is another mystery as well. You know, Cherky is definitely out for a few months still. Kovacic is out. Nico Riley apparently is a knock. So, again, we don't know if he will be available. Josko Gvardiol, again, we're not sure. We know he's been out for quite a while now. Kuzanov, again, we don't know how long he's out. I know it's a calf-related injury. There's rumours that Nori, also muscular injury. Hopefully, he might be fit in time. Stones. He pulled out of the England squad before any game was he gets the ball in England. So maybe it's just precautionary. It was said it was precautionary. So hopefully he's fit.
No, at least it's and then I'm getting playing for England. It's the sniff. It's the excitement of playing for England that potentially that.
Yeah, he should just retire from English football.
Yeah.
And then it's Rico Lewis, who apparently has got a bit of a knock as well. So, and that's not including goalkeepers, and that's not including who else? who's not fully match fit. I mean, really and truly, I mean, that's
what do they do? 3 games gone, right? What the hell are what we're doing in training? Seriously, what are they doing?
Let's just start off to say that we know injuries happen. Okay, we know it's part of the game. Sometimes it can't be helped. Like Omar Mouche was injured international. It just seems to happen. We're not the only team that has suffered with injuries during the international break, but it obviously has affected a lot of our squad. So we have to keep that in mind. But I can understand Alan's point of view because it does feel that there are rumours, and there has been rumours before, that there was issues maybe particularly with the training regime, that maybe some of the players were being pushed too hard. Whether or not that's true, we can only go on. It's just rumours. So Pep Lijnders apparently does like to train the squads. He did at Liverpool. Liverpool fans were warning us before he signed, or when he signed, that there were concerns. So I mean, I can understand why Alan is saying what he's saying because I get it. So, Alan, I will let you finish, mate. Go on.
No, I warned everybody when we were playing this Mickey Mouse World Club pre-season Mickey Mouse tournament that we shouldn't even turn up. We'll just do training sections instead, because I anticipated something like this would happen, and sure enough, it has. I'm sorry, but the whole tournament was Mickey Mouse. It's all about cash, and we should have said no, we're not turning up.
Well, that wasn't going to happen realistically. Let's be honest, Alan. So we can't just turn around and say, because it could, even if we hadn't have done that, we still would have had to have some sort of pre-season, and those injuries could have happened in pre-season. So what are you going to turn around and say? Let's cancel pre-season as well.
I said we should play pre-season, not play games.
PSG losses at do end, then Bellet's injuries for about a month now. Well, so obviously PSG is struggling already with injuries.
Did even allow for it?
So, happening already.
You've got to rest players at the end of last season. You've got to rest them.
I don't know, Alan, that you have the option to just not play.
I
don't know if you have the option just not playing FIFA.
Ridiculous.
Absolutely
ridiculous. Should have just taken Bournemouth or fucking Wigan or something. Fucking ridiculous.
They're going to turn down. Yeah. As if they're going to turn down 100 million.
No. Financially, that would be a big mistake. Yeah.
I suppose the good news that we have got is obviously, as it's just stated there from Connor, Donnarumma has arrived in Manchester. I don't know if everyone's seen yet the video.
Don't wind Alan up, see. Don't wind him up.
Well, if he goes too far,
he's trying to. Alan's already started getting wound up in there. Yeah.
I mean, for me, we were talking just before.
We've got injuries.
Just before we came on. Yeah, just before we came on, we were just kind of saying about Donnarumma and about the goalkeeping position, thing that, in all fairness, it's probably our strongest position now, especially for goalkeepers. Okay, one isn't fit, but still, it's probably our strongest position right now that we've got.
Can I ask, can any of them play fullback in an emergency?
Well, I mean, if it had been Edison, I would have gone, Let's
Calvin Phillips. So can use him right back if you want to.
So, I mean, I do feel that Donnarumma is a massive plus, because regardless of what, I know there's been a lot of criticism around his ball playing ability with his feet, but as a shot stopper, he is still one of the best at the moment. I mean, and that's what I've said for weeks, is that the main aim of the game for a goalkeeper is to keep the ball at the back of the net.
And we said that about Joe Hart, though, didn't we? Joe Hart's a shot stopper, and a very good one at that. Played for England for a long time, and Pep got shut of him because he couldn't play with his feet.
Yeah, that's definitely an argument, Alan. But we've moved on from Joe Hart. Okay, we moved on from Bravo. We moved on to Edison, and we're never going to be able to replace Edison as much as we.
I know that.
There isn't another Edison out there, and Edison had decided that his time was up at City. He decided that he wanted to leave, and we weren't going to stop that. And as Trafford, apart from that one mistake, I think he's been solid at the back.
Okay. Very good.
So, and I think between the two goalkeepers, between him and Donnarumma, I just think, wow. I mean, he in the interview, Donnarumma turned around and was like, "Yeah, I'm going to be playing for competition. I don't." He didn't come across like he was saying, "I'm going to be number one, definitely." He's like, "I'm up for the challenge." Do you know what I mean? And everything he said in that interview, I was just like, this guy knows what he wants, and he's up for a fight. You know, he knows probably where City are right now. He's not stupid. He's going to know that the first start of the season hasn't been brilliant, but he's like, I'm going to go into that dressing room, and if I need to, you know, be a leader, then I'm going to be a leader. I want to win shit. I want to win the Champions League. I want to win the Premier League. And that's right, Luke. It is about mentality. So I'm happy that we've got somebody like Donnarumma through the door, regardless of the argument with the goalkeeper's position. Does anyone else think I'm wrong? I mean, honestly, please.
Well, no, it's not. It's not a bad position to be in, is it? You know, world-class goalkeeper. Just signed him. It makes the pain of Edison leaving feel a little less painful. You know, to know that we've got somebody with such caliber coming in straight away. And he just says, you know, like you say, Ozzy, he came across so well in that interview, and he was sort of saying, you know, I can't wait to get on that pitch and be trained by Pep and this team. And he seems to have done a lot of research about the team, and he's got a good sort of feel for it. So that was nice to hear, you know, and he's ready to go. And I just think it's a nice problem to have. Trafford, like you say, made a mistake, but I think that it's gone from, you know, a relatively, what would you say, less pressured environment potentially, and he's come straight to Manchester City, and he's performed really, really well. I think. I don't think he's performed badly at all.
He's come into a team, right, where defensively haven't been the best, right? Well, first game was Wolves, and Wolves weren't that good anyway. But I think Trafford I was at the Brighton game, and Trafford was brilliant. Like I can't like a penalty and the second goal were not his fault at all, because at the end of the day, right, the second goal, our defence shafted him. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, he couldn't do much about that with one on the goalkeeper around him. But the saves he was making in under pressure, I can trust him. I think I can trust him. If we get injuries and he's number one, I trust him, because most keepers are like him after a Tottenham mistake that he did would have like Stefan has done in the past, and that would have collapsed. And that probably been it for them. But after to come back in against Brighton, which isn't easy games anywhere at all, with the last season as well, he's come in and he put in a good performance. And I'm really impressed with what I saw. So for me, keeper wise, I'm very happy with what we've got. It's just defensively, I'm like, hopefully we get players back fit, but it's all about mentality now, getting this team more confident, because when we definitely go behind or see the goal, I just feel a little bit worried, because I think I'll be going to collapse again. So yeah,
I've only just seen that some of the pictures from training. It's only showing a few players that look like they're there and fit. I'm not seeing a great deal of a list, so you know, we'll have to wait, I think, for that.
Obviously, I think Extra tweeted out about 6:45 this evening, and they said that Savinho, Foden, Gvardiol, Kusanov, Rico Lewis, Calvin Phillips, O'Reilly, and Bettinelli have all trained over City. Apparently, they're quite fit. Apparently, so that's positives anyway.
Get Calvin Phillips back. Put him at right back. See what happens.
He might be a secret right back. Get him
as well.
He's not named on in the squad list, is he?
Yeah, no, I know.
Serious at this point.
Yeah. Luckily, I'm joking, but yeah.
I'm not.
No offense. No.
Oh dear. So, good evening, Mark. How you doing, mate? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not always the best when it comes to the comments, so please be patient with me. This is Martin's bag when it comes to comments, but I will do my best. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think there are a number of players that look like they are fit and they are ready to go. And I think, we still have, for my opinion, I think we have one of the best spines in the league. You look at Donnarumma, Rodri and Haaland as that core spine. And I know Rodri's still getting up to match fitness. Donnarumma's a new goalkeeper. He's got to gel with the rest of the squad. But, he's been around enough. He's played for 2 big clubs. He's played in big competitions for Italy. Like, that's a strong spine of a team. And I think, Haaland's had to step up as a leader this season. He's been made one of the captains. Rodri is a captain. I would imagine Donnarumma probably won't be long until we hear that he's one of the captains as well. Even if not, he's still a strong presence, as we've just been saying. So, we've got to remember there are leaders out there. There are people that are going to, I think the worry is that there hasn't been a strong leadership on the presence on the pitch over the last few games. And I think with those 3 players, we should be seeing, proper mentality come back at the weekend.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we just got to get match fit. I think we started the season 4 weeks behind everyone else, and to be fair, we normally do, even without the Club World Cup. We normally start pre-season a week or 2 behind everyone else, and our seasons have always been set up to peak later in the season than early. And even last season, we got our best results late in the season, and with all the injuries and the chaos that we had. So I think, and anyone expecting City to be, brilliant from the start of the season, I think was a little deluded. But I think this season it's going to take longer. I think we'll hit our stride in January, February. I think we'll have a season, hopefully like PSG did last season, but probably unlikely to be quite as successful, but it could be. But I think we're going to take a few months to find our feet, and we're lucky we're playing a relegation type team this weekend. We're playing a team who were 16th last season or 15th, I can't remember. I got a bit bored once I got below about 13th, 14th in the league, and we're playing. So we've just got to get the right players on the pitch with the right mentality, and we've got so much quality, superior to even if half our squad's out. We've got a second 11 that's better than their first 11, and I think we've just got to remember that, play with some confidence and some mentality, and start kicking the season off, because unfortunately in a season where we know we're going to have a bit of a slow start, we have got a bit of a tricky run coming up, which doesn't allow us too much room for too many tricky results. After losing a couple, we know that once you lose a couple in Europe, you're under real pressure in the new way of Europe, which makes it more exciting but makes it more risky. So I think heads down and let's get on with it.
I also think as well having more games to play as well will help us out a bit, because I think we need a couple games in a week to get momentum going. I think having to wait a week between each game to start, right? You can't get back into it again to go again after a loss, and having to wait around. And I think the more games we play, especially with everyone coming back fit as well, will definitely do a lot of good as well, especially on the pitch as well. So hopefully with the games now coming thick and fast a bit more, now we'll start getting a little bit more confidence, hopefully.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think the international break was badly timed in terms of our squad and our injuries. But you're right. I think once the momentum comes back and people start drip feeding back fit, I think, we'll start to look better again. And like Rich said, I agree. I think it'll probably hit its stride towards the end of the year, January time.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with any of your points there, but I have heard over the last few days, especially with the game coming up now thick and fast, and I'd like you to answer this. Is this a must-win game for City?
Yes.
Yep.
It's a derby. Of course it is.
Yep. It's a must-win game because
that'll be some must-win games when we're 15th.
I do think that this is a must-win game because when we play Arsenal, which I think Arsenal and Liverpool are miles further ahead than we are as a standard because of the changes we've made.
Have you watched them play this season? Alan, have you watched them play? Arsenal are timid. Arsenal, I thought were absolutely pathetic. They've learnt nothing. They've bottled the league the last few years, and they've learnt nothing. They went to Liverpool thinking, if we can get 0-0, that's a triumph. And with Liverpool's defence, which I don't think is that good. And I think with all due respect, Newcastle were better than Liverpool. Bournemouth were better than Liverpool at least half of the game. And Arsenal were better than Liverpool for most of that game. Liverpool lost 3 games.
Let him finish his point, Alan.
We've been shit at the back. Absolutely shit. Right? So you can't say that Arsenal and Liverpool, they're ahead of us. And as a team, they're a better side.
I've seen nothing from City this season apart from Trafford's pass. As bad as them against Bournemouth.
I've seen nothing from City at the back to give me any confidence whatsoever. Especially the fullback areas.
Listen, I have to agree with Rich.
Against Bournemouth, you and Martin would have looked better than Van Dijk and Canate did against Bournemouth.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree with Rich. I do think, if you watch the games of Liverpool and Arsenal, I don't think either team have been spectacular. Do you know what I mean? I don't think either team have really kicked on and got into their stride just yet. I think.
I mean, the great thing for Liverpool.
I think they've been lucky. If I'm honest, I think Liverpool were lucky against Newcastle. I think Newcastle.
Yeah, I was going to say the only team I've seen that would be scaring me as a City fan right now is that performance from Newcastle. If they could have pulled that out of the bag every week, I'd be scared. That was an excellent game.
Yeah, they did very well. They got better.
And Arsenal could be good, but they're too afraid. They're too afraid to try to beat Arsenal. Arsenal are going to lose. They're not going to win the league this year if they genuinely don't want to beat their rivals in important games.
The reason I asked that question,
they tried not to beat City 2 years ago.
Yeah,
they play for draws, Rich. That's their issue.
Yeah, and you can't.
They do.
No.
The reason I asked that question wasn't just because it's a derby. I'm asking also because, let's be honest, it's where we are currently. It's the way that fans are feeling about how we've kicked on so far this season. Do you know what I mean? It's the games that are coming up, like Napoli and Arsenal. Do you know what I mean? If we lose, if we seem to go on a bit of a losing streak, how is that going to affect the mentality of the players, the coaching staff, us as fans? Do you know what I mean? Is it going to start seeping in that all of a sudden we're all going to go back to last season? Because let's be honest, that's where some of our fans have gone currently. Like, they're all thinking, oh God, 3 games in, and all of a sudden we are back to where we were.
Ozzy, why does it matter to City if we have a load of fans who have a meltdown every time we don't win 4-0? What does that matter to City? Do you think Pep's there going, oh no, I might resign?
I don't think Rich, I don't think it's that.
It's the way we had a breakdown.
Rich, it's not that. It's the way we're defending and not keeping the ball. That's the problem.
It is, Alan, but don't you think that's because really we should take a step back and look at it logically and say, well, it's because half of our players aren't fit. That's the only reason. There's not
the way we play.
Yeah.
We're trying to change the way we play.
On the other hand, Fee, we can play well and have someone like Nunes and Nori just fuck up on as fullbacks, and the other team are in.
Yeah, and I agree, and I don't like probably most City fans. I don't hold, a lot of hope in Nunes, obviously as a right back because he isn't a right back. But I think that we haven't also got an alternative. I don't even think there's anybody that I can look at with all honesty and say, I want them in that position.
Why the transfer window, why did we get a loanee for him for 12 months? Because
I think in January they'll obviously, hopefully they'll look at it.
Yeah.
2 years of that.
I know.
But also, it isn't right back on defence. It's also up front as well. Like, apart from the first game, which I thought was really, really good, second and third game, like the finishing creativity just dried up completely. And it's all well and good, obviously, like obviously at the back we're not the best, but at least we can score more goals than what we're doing, and at least sort of make it other draw. If it is a draw, or we nick a win, it's better we've got the goals in the team. But when all we've got is Haaland up front, I mean, and we've got Foden and all that, and our creators injured.
Question for you all: do you think we should just keep playing like we did the second half of last season forever? Because we've got two choices. One, we change the way we play. And that's going to involve mistakes. It's going to involve time. It's going to involve patience. It's going to involve people keeping their heads together and not bottling it. Or we can play like we did the second half of last season and just pass the ball around endlessly outside the opposition box, not losing the ball, keeping control, winning the game 1-0, 2-1. And that's a choice. Personally, I'd rather we don't win the league this year and we start to build to play like an elite team that's going to go and win stuff with exciting football and accept we make mistakes. Because they're really the two choices. We can say, let's go back to the second half of last season, keep playing like that. We don't want to risk mistakes. We don't want to risk changing. We don't want to risk losing a few games. Or we change the way we play. We accept that's going to take months and we get behind the team doing it and we don't complain when the absolutely inevitable mistakes happen when you change the way we play. We've tried to play different football the last 3 games than we did last season. We're trying to move quicker. We're trying to do things differently. And miraculously, new players coming back from injury, trying to play a new style, doesn't just become prime Barcelona on the first game of the season. So our fans honestly have got to make up their mind whether they're going to bottle it and we'll just try and do nothing, and we'll go like a conservative version of Arsenal, just hold the ball, try and win 1-0, passing for an hour outside the box, or we go for it and we try and change things and we try and recreate a great side. But you can't have it both ways. And the same people moaning now, spent all the time moaning about the old Unks. The Unks, City legends have gone. So it's time people started keeping their heads and get a grip.
Rich, that's what I was just going to say. Just a quick point. The last season, like you say, all the Unk comments, then, we desperately need a rebuild. We all understand it's going to take 2 years. Roll on literally the next season, a few months later, and everybody's, complaining again that it's not absolutely a full jigsaw. Everything's not completely set. It's going to be a transitional period, possibly for a couple of seasons, expecting everything to, like you say, be prime Barcelona. It's not going to happen. I think if everybody takes a logical step back and looks at it, they'll realise that. But yeah, I think we've become so accustomed to everything slotting into place and winning that it just muckies the water a bit sometimes. People can't see the wood for the trees, I think.
Yeah,
but I think it's going to take time.
I think you're right, Fee. I do think you're right. I think that's what some people have kind of lost perspective a little bit. But I can understand where some people do feel that City should be competing. City have made mistakes. Do you know what I mean? We've talked about it several times where after the treble, we didn't strengthen like Liverpool have this summer. We didn't do what they've done when we won the treble, and we didn't do it after the 4-peat. Do you know what I mean? We didn't bring in those quality players. We brought in some young, some talented players that looked good, but and I'm looking at kind of like Savio and Doku, for examples at the moment, where we brought these 2 players in, and neither have really lit up the league like we hoped they would. Doku has been flashes, there's been good points, and I've stood up for Doku a lot. I think people can hold me to account on that one. And I have said that for me this season, he has got to improve. But we're only 3 games in, and this is his time to really make a point because Marmoush isn't going to be there Sunday. So Doku is definitely going to more likely going to start, and he's definitely got to step up. There's no argument from me on that point.
Yeah.
But I can understand when people say, you look at these two players as an example, okay? City don't seem to have replaced quality players like Mahrez and Sterling, who we lost. I can see the argument of we haven't brought in those players, the likes of Mahrez and Sterling, where they were really good. We saw the quality. They came in and they made an impact.
Yeah,
so
they're more like project players,
City,
almost.
Yeah, they are project players,
Yeah.
and we seem to have got quite a few project players at the moment. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
so
I agree with that.
We as a fan base can turn around and say what we've just said, like you said, B. We can wait. We might have to wait, but is that the right overall decision? Because if these players don't work out, and we've had and that will be a number of players, Phillips, there's questions around Nico. There's so many questions at the moment about a few players that it makes me just feel that I can see why people are angry and frustrated at the moment with the way the transfer business has gone.
I always bang on about transparency, but there's not been much transparency either. I don't think with injuries and whatever's going on, it all seems to be a bit mysterious.
I find it most amusing actually on injuries. Like we just share nothing. We don't help other clubs by telling them what's happening. We share nothing, and I actually think that's good. I think it's good for the club.
If you can get away with it, great.
They don't know. You don't know. We've had players who actually weren't injured but just weren't quite match sharp, and they've been held back. And then the fans are in like, is he going to be out for 2 months? And then they're back the next week. So I think we have to accept that if we tell the fans transparently about injuries, we're telling all our opponents transparently about injuries. So we can give our opponents, if we're honest, we can give any team we're playing 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks to prepare differently for playing City because a player's out than if they're playing. Because especially if you're playing against Doku or Marmouche or Haaland's out, or is Rodri or Rodri not in, that makes a difference to opposition coaches, managers, and technical analysts. So I like the fact we don't share information because it gives nothing to our opponents. But
that's a great point.
Fans seem to think that they need to know everything, which kind of we do because we all feel like we're invested. We all kind of feel like we own, and we're part of City and we deserve to know everything. But I think it's good. It keeps, like, if you're a United's manager, apart from being very bad at your job, what are you thinking for? You don't have a clue who's going to play on Sunday. And I think City are adding to that uncertainty. So whilst our fans are going like, oh no, what's going to happen? How many people are injured? United are going, we don't have tactically, we can't prepare for this game on anything other than a generic basis because we don't know who's going to be playing for City.
No, nobody does.
It's the mind games. I like it, Rich. I really do like it. Anyway, I've got to read this in the chat because it's been going for a little while now. So thank you, Adam. Just get Elise, get a right winger, Rodrigo left wing, Adam Wharton, Livramento, and a good centre back. Well, there's nothing we can do at the moment, mate. The summer market's closed. The January market's months away. You're not going to get Elise at Bayern Munich. Rodrigo, I don't think he's going to leave Real Madrid anytime soon. To be brutally honest. Adam Wharton, I think, as a long-term project, yes. I think he's a quality player, and I would love to see him at City. But I think that'll be after the World Cup that he will probably move. And Livramento, I've banged on enough about Livramento, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. And a good centre back. Well, I think once Stones goes and once I think Ake goes, I think that's when City will look at bringing in possibly another right centre back.
It's not gay
again. Yeah,
maybe.
I mean,
we've got 2 quality potentially centre backs out on loan as well, and I think we're going to be looking at whether they can do it. I mean, what I would say to Adam is I think City's biggest problem today is that we're not yet settled with new players, a new way of playing and everything else. And when you need stability, settlement, and to get into a rhythm, going and signing another 5 players is just going to put you back 5 steps. And I think, you know, I do think we will go for a right back when the right player comes. But I still, with the exception of Livramento, Newcastle didn't want to sell, and the player obviously didn't want to go that much that he was prepared to do anything to do it. I still have barely heard a single good option of a right back that would have come in, probably had to be homegrown at the time, who was going to go and do a brilliant job for us. So everyone's saying, oh, we need a right back desperately, but there seemed to be one player. And honestly, at the start of the summer, when people talk about Livramento, it seemed to me about 80% of City fans were saying he's not good enough. But during the 6 or 8 weeks when everyone's getting impatient for a right back, he went from not good enough for City, 80 million to rip off, to being prime Kyle Walker. We're never going to be able to succeed as a club without him. No player has improved so much over such a short period in the history of football, because he's gone from
0 to hero.
Not good enough for City to being the best right back ever, and that kind of.
And he's been playing left back for England and Newcastle.
Yeah, I mean, like I've seen him have some good games. I've seen, and you know, and I think maybe he is a good option, but to go from like we might sign Livramento, he's not good enough, he hasn't played enough, or he's too expensive, to like we can't ever succeed as a football club again without Livramento, which is the way people are now, is just bizarre. And
I just think, Rich, it's because there's not many viable options, really, is there?
No,
and
yet. I was going to say we had no left back for 6-7 seasons, and we won a treble, a quad, domestic quad. We won everything without a left back, and now suddenly we never win again without a right back. Sorry, Luke, rant over.
That's right. I agree with what you're saying. Also, as well, I think they need to think about as well English quota as well. I think a lot of people don't actually realise this, but when John Stones, will leave in the season anyway. I mean, I like him to stay, but I think we all know the injuries aren't really getting any better. I think I can see him going off in the summer anyway on a free anyway. So I think this next summer will be a lot of looking at English players to obviously come in and help out that quota. So I think players like Wharton and that, and possibly even Livramento after World Cup as well will probably be there as well. So a lot of people need to realise is that we probably won't get that many players that everyone thinks we'll get, but it's all about getting the right players and right positions that we do need. Because, you know, obviously you need a right back, but if certain players are to go, they need to make sure that the squad is balanced enough, where we've got experience and enough players coming through, where it's it's ready to go for next year as well. So all about managing sort of this where we need to be, really.
Yeah, no, you make good points there, Luke and Rich. The only thing I would probably challenge you on, Rich, just to kind of play devil's advocate a little bit, is that when we had those players in the treble season, like we had Kyle Walker, who is arguably probably the best right back the Premier League has ever seen. We had a very good centre back pairing, and we had, you know, a Kanji at right back. So it was a stable back four. Right now, could anyone realistically tell me that there's a stable back four? Because we haven't got that currently. Let's be honest. You know,
we've got
Nori is, I think, is a good left winger, but I think he's very good at going forward. His defensive work isn't the best. So I think then you're just left with two defenders, and then of course we're left with Rico Lewis or Nunes, which don't fill me full of confidence. Do you know what I mean? At least when we did have one of the left back or the right back flying up the wings, we knew we could rely on Kyle Walker to get us out of shit if we needed, because his pace was just electric. And, you know, I know there's a lot of tension still maybe around Kyle Walker, but for me, he's still the best right back Premier League has seen. I think he was immense for us as a right back, and he won us so much. So, you know, as 100%, a player, 100%. I think you can't put shit on his name for me. You really can't. So
100% right, Ozzy, and everything you just said there. 100% right. We've got centre halves are okay, but the full backs on both sides are a massive concern for me.
Yeah, I think Aït-Nouri will potentially come for us. He's come from Wolves. He's only just got into the team. He's had an injury already. We've got to give him half a season. Really,
and Aït-Nouri is a better defender. He's a better defender than Cancelo. by a long way. He's
Yeah,
a better
no,
defender than I think he's probably a better defender than Fabian Delph. I think so. I think Aït-Nouri will be good. I just think I've seen him have Salah in his pocket in a way that few City players.
We forget that, Rich. We forget that.
Yeah, I think he's quite a defender, but I do think it takes time to learn to play with a new team, get your job right. So, and and mistakes at the moment when we're playing well and we're getting results and we're on winning runs, you can make a mistake, a terrible mistake, and no one ever notices. Or if they do remember it, they remember it fondly, like when a Kanji nearly set up Son, because your mistake doesn't matter at the moment. If a mistake costs us a game, it's being amplified, and we're talking as if those players will make mistakes forever. Same with Núñez gets took. Núñez made a couple of really bad mistakes last year, and they were unfortunate times. Last week, I don't know that any player would have done too much differently, getting a ball booted at them from 3 meters as hard as he did not to defend your face. I don't see how, as a human being, your natural reactions aren't gonna go to protect your face. So, and he made a stupid mistake in the derby. So, but I don't think Núñez makes anywhere near as many mistakes as people like to say. I think he played a lot of games in good results for the club and had games where he didn't make mistakes. But because a few of them were amplified, and the truth is, even in that derby, if we'd have actually played half as well as we could have done and actually made, played better, finished a few things, and some of our other players up front had better games, it wouldn't have all pinned on Núñez making a mistake late in the game.
Don't you think, Rich, that part of that was because as well it was the derby? That's why it's remembered.
Yeah, we remember mistakes, we remember
emotional,
mistakes
isn't it?
in derbies forever. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I remember how terrible Rio Ferdinand was as a player, because forever Rio Ferdinand will be in the 6-1. That's Rio Ferdinand's career for me summed up in one game. But Rio might consider that an unfair way to judge his career, but it's a derby. That's what you get.
It is. Yeah, it's true.
Listen, I want to kind of get on to, because we've not even spoke really that much about the opposition. And I'm just going on to Neil here. I have heard the same thing, Neil, that Cunha and Mount are out.
Not to be leap on Cunha, because Cunha's a decent player.
He is a decent player. Yeah.
He's a decent player.
As well.
Hasn't set the world up at light really at United, let's be honest. So let's not get too carried away. But yeah, I mean, let's be honest. Who's this match really? Like, who's it more important to? Who's the win more important to? Is it more important to us or is it more important to United? Because really and truly, let's be honest. I mean, on paper, still, I think City are way better, the team. We've got the better manager. I don't care that, their manager has booked, Pep over a couple of games. Like, that's, for me, like, since he's come into this league, I have not seen this so-called, brilliant manager do anything apart from lose games, end up, 14th, 15th in the league last season, completely throw away a final, completely stay so rigid that, he's
stubborn.
His so-called philosophy, where you look at someone like, what's his face, he came at Wolves last season, where he came in and was just like, I'm just going to work with what I've got.
Pereira.
Pereira. You look at these managers. Look at the Spurs manager, Thomas Frank. He's come in and he's not gone with a new system. He's just gone, I've got these players. I'm going to make them work. And so far, he's doing a good job.
Byron Bournemouth, yeah. Very good.
I'm sorry, the excuses that United fans are coming up for this manager, like, I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry, but I just think it's pathetic. I really do. I think where is United of old? Seriously, like,
honestly, if Burnley weren't stupid at the end of the game, that's a draw. I think if that player isn't an idiot and brings down the player in the box, when you know they're going to do that in the last minute of the game at Old Trafford, that's a turn draw. So, again, you're right. I think United just haven't been great. I mean, I know we've lost 2 games, but you're right. Like Amorim's style of play, like it just hasn't worked because the player's just a crap, and he's too focused on his own principles where he can't change it up. Well, that's stuff.
I mean,
I think that
if you look at who they brought in the summer, like for me, those players that were brought in weren't particularly like. If you really look at them, like I don't think they were brought in for his complete system, because if he's sacked, those players can play on the wings or in the positions that they're normally playing in their old team. So for me, I don't think the United board have got full confidence now in. If they would have full confidence, they would have gone out and signed wing backs. They didn't sign any wing backs, and apparently his whole philosophy is that he needs wing backs. What wing backs have they got? They're makeshift at the moment. Yeah. They're brought in some quality players, but
they'll play them. They'll get battered in midfield by City because City's midfield's better.
Yeah.
But all United will do is hit the channels straight away over the top.
Long balls.
Because, that I'm telling you, because they've got quick players up front and they'll just go over the top down the channels. That is what they will do. And City will have a problem with that because the one thing we are weak at is the ball going over the top.
And Sesko's tall as well.
Well, I was going to say that the only good, part of Mount and Kuna being out is obviously they'll probably go with Sesko to start, won't they? But the thing is, he's not shown anything yet either.
No, exactly. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like this team that they've currently got, I have not seen enough of any shape, way, or form of a side that they think they could. I mean, I'm still hearing United fans think they're going to challenge for a Champions League place. I mean, really? I deluded beyond just I mean, serious. What are they talking about? And you're right though, Alan. You're right. That is the way they can go up against us, and it is a derby, and we know it can happen in a derby. Let's not forget that.
Yep.
I'm not blind to that, but the record is the record for itself. Like we've probably not had the best record at home, but out of 2 clubs, we're still better than them. We've still won more derbies than they have over the last decade.
I think they think we're there for the taking at the moment with the amount of injuries we've got, and I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with that. We are there for the taking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think if we've got if some of the players that we know that are hopefully on the cusp of like Foden, for instance, if Foden is on the return, then that fills me full of confidence because, I mean, let's go back only a couple of seasons ago when him and Haaland scored a hat-trick together. Do you know what I mean? So, and they know, I mean, Phil knows what this means to play in this derby. Yeah. Right? He knows he's going to be well up for it. All right? There are players that are still here that know.
Is he fit though?
I think he's pretty much fit.
I think he's pretty much fit, yeah. So, I don't know if he'll start, but, I think...
He needs to start.
I think you'll see Foden and GUARDIOLA, even if it's off the bench on Sunday.
Yeah, 100%.
I would hope so. I really
do.
Yeah. And I wonder whether the injuries are as bad as we fear. And we saw, Ozzy, you read out the list earlier of the injuries, and we're sitting there making lists of the injuries to make it look really bad. But given that injury list to make it look really bad has Calvin Phillips, Nick O'Reilly, Cherky, a lot of players who would never have started this derby in a million years. You have to start to think how many of the 11 that Pep would start the derby are injured. That's goal. Clearly Haaland. We were probably going to start if everyone's fit. Bernardo, Reinders, and Rodri in midfield. They're all fit. So I don't think there's a midfield injury that affects the starting 11. Foden's fully fit. He probably starts. Haaland starts. So possibly would Marmoush or Doku have started 50-50. So out of those front 6, we might have half a player who would have started out. Now, right back, Núñez would probably have started, probably will start, and he's fit. Diaz would have started his fit. So we might be one centre-back and one left-back really down from a team that would have started if we had an entirely fit squad. So whilst everyone's in a meltdown and we won't have things from the bench to change it that we would have, I don't think it's like we're going into a derby with 7 of the team who would have started injured. We're probably going in with a couple injured. And, you know, Stones might be fit. We don't know because we don't say anything. He might have just said, I feel a little bit funny. So if Stones is fit, we might only be Aït-Nouri down. And given we've got Ake, who is fit, as I understand it, and was the best left back in the Premier League the season before last, I'm not sitting here going melting down. We're there for the taking. It's really easy. I think that's a bloody good starting 11, and it's not far off a first choice starting 11.
But I think
you just nailed that.
I think a win, though, for me is bigger confidence. I think if we get a big win on Sunday, especially in a derby as well, it gives the whole squad a bit of a boost. Going to Napoli, going to Arsenal, when you think having that feel good factor will definitely help. I'm not saying it's going to massively and instantly fix us all that, but it's going to give us a bit of confidence, a bit of momentum, which is what we need right now going to the next 3 games.
So Andrew has got this lineup. I mean, if Kuznov's fair, I mean, I'd prefer him at right back, if I'm honest. Yeah, I really would.
I would.
I think he hasn't done a foot wrong for me, you know. So if he's fit, I'd definitely have him there. Stones, as Rich was saying, hopefully he's fit. Josko, if he's fit, I mean that's the problem is that you'd be looking at probably bringing in some players there that would need match fitness. I'd be a little bit like, I don't know. I mean, I'd maybe think of having Diaz really. Rather than Josko, just because him and Stones have played more together. Aït-Nouri, hopefully.
I think he might bring him off the bench, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And then Bernardo, I mean, I was kind of thinking, I would like, I mean, part of me would like to see Reinders, Rodri, and Nico G in that midfield. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of midfield that I feel that could probably do a really good job. Now, I know that.
The thing with Bernardo, mate, playing in midfield, he does a number of jobs. He's everywhere, and that's why he plays him. At the moment, he's a must. He's a shoe-in.
He's actually quite creative as well.
In a derby, he's playing. So if he doesn't play in the mids, he's playing right wing.
Well, I don't want to see him at right wing, if I'm honest, Rich. But
I also think he's going to be starting the midfield then.
Yeah, that's why. Even though I'd like to see that midfield I just said, I think I could understand why Pep would put him in the starting lineup and have him in the midfield, because you're right. Absolutely. You're all right. Yeah. He knows what the derby's about. He's turned up at the derbies, and he's a solid player most of the time when it turns these games. So
he's a worker.
Yeah.
And I also think as well, I think when Cover's back fit as well, it'd be good, because I think he's a good carrier of the ball as well, does a lot of energy as well. I think when a lot of people don't actually realise how good Cover actually is. I'm not saying as always a starter, but as a squad player as well, especially in the team that we've got. So I think when he's back fit, it'll be a massive help as well in the midfield. So, but I will definitely stop on Silva in midfield definitely on Sunday.
We're missing Kovacic at the moment. We are missing Kovacic, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean,
he's also so good at going forward, isn't he?
Yes, yeah.
It's like it's experience as well in midfield.
Yeah.
When we were under the cosh last week, right, the other week, when we were under the cosh against Brighton at that period, that's when you need a Kovacic on the pitch. Calm things down, slow it down, and get hold of the ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't have happened.
Control.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that control in midfield, But we've got Rodri back now. And, I'm really looking forward to that. Hopefully, as well, the more time he spends with Nico G, we might start to see some flourishing partnerships there. That's what I'm hoping for anyway.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that the thing I want to see, I mean, if the lineups we've discussed there, that the players that should and hopefully are fit, that's a team for me that should be absolutely demolishing this United team. Like, really and truly, like, I'm sorry, but there shouldn't be any excuses. Us walking away from, and I'm not saying it has to be a spanking for United, You know, I'd be happy with 2-1.
It needs to be a spanking. We need to.
I would love a spanking, Rich. But for me, the win is more important right now than a spanking United. As much as I would really love to see it. Yeah, if both we can have, Luke, I'll be celebrating.
Yeah, always.
Really, exactly.
If Haaland can do what he did on Sunday for us, please, that would be great. Thank you very much.
The thing is, it should have been 10. We've got to remember, it should have been 10.
Was it Sunday the other day? Yeah.
Rapid, after we get 10 past them, buddy.
No, we all want to see that, but
we do.
For me, I just think this team really needs to show on the pitch that they want this more than United.
100%.
They need to show it because it needs to be that way of the game. It needs to be that way in a derby, especially. And especially where after the last couple of games, it just seemed like they've slightly collapsed. The mentality has just dropped. And it's just like, that can't happen for me on Sunday. If we lose, but we've really gone out there and it's been a fluke or it's been a referee decision on VAR, then fair enough. But, those things can't always be helped. But I cannot have suddenly it's just we've collapsed.
Yeah,
you're right there, because the second we concede or anything or we go behind, we just absolutely collapse mentally. And that's what we were seeing last season. So this derby win would be exactly what we need, like you were saying, Luke, as well, before these important games, obviously, Napoli and Arsenal. But that's all it can take sometimes, a good run of a couple of important games and then you're back on track. Because there's a lot that to be said for the mentality and the players, and obviously with a lot of injuries as well, they need to get their confidence back, just getting back into the games. And a lot of people don't consider that, I don't think, but it is a big factor in it. But so hopefully, fingers crossed on Sunday, we can get some of that morale back.
Yeah, one game at a time. Game at a time, get it done. If we can get through this run of games after Brentford as well, before next break, just try and go on a beating run if we can. If we can get a draw at the Emirates as well, if we get a win on Sunday, just I think that kind of like level of form gives confidence in the squad and a bit more better morale. So just got to try and get that going again.
Yeah,
seriously going again.
And we've got another super touch here from Mar. Sure, everyone was saying we would spank Spurs also. Yeah, I think some of us were guilty for that. Let's be honest.
Confidence.
I think some of us were there, like saying that, Ahmed. But when we really look at that game, for me, I said this at the time, I said because I didn't watch the game live, I had to watch it after I got back from work, so I knew the score and I properly watched it and analysed the game. And in all honesty, I actually thought that we had some really good moments. I thought the team just weren't at the races, they weren't match fit, and I didn't think Spurs were the all-conquering Spurs that a lot of pundits were saying. I thought people had gone a bit over TT with the Spurs at that point. So, yes, they must have off the ball and everything like that, but I haven't, as good as Spurs have been, we've mentioned them already with, their new manager, but I still think, really and truly, it just felt that City just weren't the races.
Yeah,
so, okay. Has anyone got any other points they want to make about the derby before we think about moving on? Because we've been at this for about an hour now, so.
Actually, we've got to get our predictions for the derby, haven't we?
Oh, well, we could do, I suppose, Rich.
Well, we need to, otherwise we all get 0-0. And it won't be 0-0.
That's true. No, that's very true.
Does anybody, just a quick one, does anybody think he's going to start Donnarumma?
I
think he will.
I start Trafford personally on Sunday, but Donnarumma against Napoli. I think Trafford to me has earned a chance to play in a derby of anything. He's the first 3 games, yes, Tottenham, bad mistake, but everyone wasn't good anyway against Tottenham anyway. It wasn't just him, but I thought Brighton showed a lot of heart. I think surely, it doesn't matter who's in goal really. Both of them are good enough anyway.
Yeah, I think he might start Trafford and sub Donnarumma on for a little impact sub at the end, maybe, and then bring him on for Napoli.
Possibly, yeah.
But everyone's got totally different opinions on that one.
Yeah, he always seems to start players when in that situation. I mean, I would start Trafford, I think, but I think he'll start Donnarumma because he always seems to when we make a big signing like that. The big signing seems to come in. Yeah, so we'll see. But
sorry, Ozzy. Sorry.
In a way, I think Trafford would be better.
You're right to make that point, Fee. Like, it feels that is Donnarumma too big of a sign not to start? Do you know what I mean? And a character as big as he is as well. We were talking about his character earlier, about his leadership and everything like that. Like, I can see him starting, but also I see Rich's point and the other points of keeping Trafford in for consistency, because like we said, he hasn't really done much wrong apart from that one mistake. The rest of the time, I think he's played really well. If not been one of our best players this season so far. So.
But it's also a very clear message, isn't it, of not dropping him immediately. It's a tricky one.
It is, because also, as we said, this feels like it is a must-win game. So
it is.
I'm glad I'm not Pep and I'm making this decision in honesty.
Yeah.
It's a great problem to have, but it's not a problem that I don't think I would want to pick.
No,
and make a mistake. Do you know what I mean? Like, because
I personally think
if it starts it'll be what you're doing, taking Trafford in. He's been brilliant, but then again, if we leave Trafford in and then he makes a mistake, it should be, well, we had Donnarumma, the best goalkeeper in the world. What are we doing? I mean,
you never win. You'll never win the situation. No. He's going to just do what he thinks is best, I think, for the win the match at the end of the day.
My heart says that I want Trafford, but I've got a feeling Donnarumma will play.
Yeah, personally, that's me.
Fair enough. Martin, are you there, mate?
Yeah, evening. Sorry, I've been in and out. My bad.
That's
no, don't worry about it.
I explained earlier, and obviously you put the comment in the chat, so everyone is aware of why you weren't in, mate. So, and you've got to apologise for. Do you wanna? Have you been able to keep kind of hold of what I've been saying? Do you want to add anything, mate, or just?
No, I've missed most of it. I won't lie. I will not lie.
Fair enough, mate. Well, we've talked through the derby. We've talked about. Well, we haven't got to our predictions yet, mate. So, do you want to say anything about the derby? If you've got anything.
Well, the main thing is we've got to get the atmosphere going on Sunday. Now, obviously, the news has come out today. The PA announcement's going to be going off 2 minutes before kickoff, so we can raise the roof. Let's see if we do that. That'll be intriguing. We've just got to get behind everyone. I'm bored of all the frigging arguing and infighting. People want to badmouth me everywhere. It's weird that you can't do it directly to my face. Anyway, separate issue. Listen, John Stones sadly looks like he might not make it, which is sad. He hasn't trained today. But Foden, Kushner, etc. have. I think about it. It's going to come down to the 11 we pick. And how we set up. I just want to win. I want to win. I'm not even bothered about performances anymore on Sunday. I just want to win them. Everyone knows I don't enjoy derbies. I hate them. I just want to get in, get the game won, go, get out again. This is just there's 2 games of the season I don't enjoy, and these are it. You don't relax, you don't enjoy it, you're not there, all pretty football. You want to go in and snap legs and all sorts. So
old school.
Yeah, this is like the 2 old school fixtures where you go back and you go, don't care about the performance. We've just got to be fighting. We've got to be there. I've said 3-1. I do think we'll win 3-1.
Bold.
But we'll see. I mean, like I said, I don't even want to think of not winning the game because I know what the reaction will be afterwards.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Can I just ask Martin, because I've asked the others, and I know some people have slated me in the chat list, but whatever. do you feel that with everything that's happened so far this season, do you feel this is a must-win game, not just because it's a derby, but because of where we are and what we've got ahead of us?
Yes and no.
Now get off the fence.
No, because see, I'm saying yes for different reasons. Because I think we need the win to calm everyone down. Do I think it's must win for the team? No, because it's 4 games in. I'll be honest. I said it last night. I don't. Do I think we'll win the title now? No. Can we win the title? Yeah, but it is what it is. I'm not throwing my chest out that we'll win the title. I just think with too many injuries and too many all sorts at the moment. And I think the rebuild's going to take longer than I initially thought. Sadly, but no. Is it? I mean, a must win from what perspective? Talking about title, talking about form, we're talking about that's what I'm.
Momentum, probably.
Momentum. That's what I mean. Because is it a must win for momentum? Yes. Is it a must win? Because because I know what'll come out. Someone will say, probably Alan. I know what Alan's going to do. Alan, if we don't win on Sunday, then we get beat against Arsenal and we're in the bottom 3, Alan will start telling everyone we're getting relegated. So is it then a must win from Alan's point of view? Yes, of course it is. Because we're going into a relegation battle in 2 weeks in Alan's eyes. Yeah, I'm only joking, mate. But you know what I mean? From my perspective, no, it's not a must win, but I do understand why people think it would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
It depends how doom or happy you are in it. Are you on the major side of doom? Are you on the really happy? I don't know.
Well, I'm glad you're able to get those splinters out your ass, mate. That's the main thing. Listen, I respect
context.
Indeed, very much so. And I respect everyone's opinions, even yours, Martin, when we disagree. But I am going to disagree a little bit because I'm going to say this is a must-win game. And the reason I say this is because of the opposition, of their manager, of their fans, and our squad, whether certain players are fit or not, with the players that should be in the starting 11, we should be winning this game. Okay, we should be winning this game. Unless there's a VAR decision or a bad call from the referee or an injury or something like that, we should not be losing this game for me. So I'm not gonna be on the fence with this. I'm gonna say we should be winning this game. Yep. And I am gonna make a bit of a bold. I'm actually gonna go 4-1 to City. I'm putting my neck there right on the line. So because I do think that the mentality of some of the players need to step up. And with the mentality of the likes of Donnarumma coming in, I think that could be a big boost. So there we go. I am going to get score predictions. So let's go around the room. Alan, what's your score prediction? I've made mine. Martin,
3-0. 3-0 United. I thought everyone just got completely quiet when I said
that. We actually believed you, Martin. Alan, we believed you.
It's just so real like that.
It's not the craziest thing he's ever said.
It's the most optimistic I've ever heard him.
No. I think it's going to be a draw. One each. It'll be a draw.
Oh, there we go. There's a good old Alan.
All right. I'll go 4-0 Holland hat-trick. I've got. Look, I think it's one of those games where it could be something like that happen. I've seen this club at times is very weird. In certain games, you can win 4-0 out of nowhere. It's a big team like Newcastle last year, so I'll go 4-0. It might sound crazy, but I'm going for it.
Hey, join the crazy team, Luke. Join the crazy team.
Yep.
So, go on, Rich. What's your prediction, mate?
I think it's going to be a traditional derby score, 3-2 City.
Heart attack central.
Yeah.
That's half attacking it. 3-2's half attacking it.
I don't think Alan. I don't think Martin will survive that game.
No. That's a heart attack, that. Me too. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Faye?
I think I'm going to go with 3-1, because I think that somehow, probably due to something ridiculous, they will pull one back or a penalty or something daft like that, which we will all moan about for weeks. But
we're not clean sheet. No chance.
No, I think it's going to be a 3-1. I think it's going to be 3-1 because I do think Haaland, I think he's in for a brace or something. I just there's something in the water with him. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he left Dublin, didn't he? He left Dublin.
Yeah. After his international performance, I just think he's really, really up for this.
On it.
I do. I think he's got the love of it back. You can see it in him, even in his play.
Can I ask you a question, Fake? Can I ask you a question? How are we going to get the ball to him?
How what, sorry?
How are we going to get the ball to him?
Good man.
Kicking it.
Well, yeah, kicking it, but also, well, we're hoping for Foden, aren't we? We're hoping for Foden.
Yeah,
that's my issue. Is that
but also, sorry, go on, Alan.
I just think we give him the chances, good chances, he'll score. But
yeah, agreed.
Last few games, I think the service towards him has been pathetic. Really do.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people forget as well about Bernardo's contributions to creativity in these games.
Yeah,
I think that Bernardo can be really key in getting in those little pockets in the box, and I think he's really creative. I think, you know.
Well, sorry, I've got to rewind. I'm sorry. What do you mean we're not producing Haaland? Haaland's been missing one-on-ones, Alan.
Oh, brilliant.
How's he creating them out of his rear end?
Spicy.
Do you watch different games? Seriously? Haaland's been getting chances. He should have had an hat-trick against Brighton.
Yep. Should have.
Yeah, that's fair.
Come on now. You can't say we're not feeding him. He should be on about 7 goals now.
Hat-trick.
If he wants to beat Alan Shearer's record, he's going to have to start stepping up and putting them in the back of the net.
Yeah, he is, yeah. And not just for Norway.
Yeah. Well, they don't count.
Moldova.
They don't count for you, so.
No, I know. We need them. Nobody else. Yeah.
Exactly. No offense to Norway, but
no.
Win the World Cup or the Euros anytime soon, so yeah.
No.
Hey, Luke, I'm going to get a phone call after this stream's finished. We know well, bro.
I think there'll be many a phone call. Message going your way, Alan.
I haven't spoke to Alan in about 2 weeks. He does all this. I'm going to get I don't hardly speak to him in a minute. I'm too busy. And then I get another. Why do you bully Alan? I said, no fucking speak to him anymore. I'm too busy.
I remember the good old days where you two were just talking to the wee hours of the morning and just wind each other up, and I had to listen to it on every bloody show. Don't miss those days. I really don't miss those days. Do we really?
No, I don't. I really don't.
What?
Look at Alan. He's so innocent.
Rich just used to come in for 5 minutes. Rich would come in for 5 minutes, hear a couple of voices, and just leave.
So,
Rich is the sensible one.
Well, I'll give about 5:30. I'll give him a call, Rich, when he's finished work, and we have a debate and calming down session. And please speak to Martin and calm him down. Yeah.
Speak to Martin, calm him. What? What are we on about?
The amount of nonsense. Oh, I've got to go.
Oh, who's in the corner shop?
Oh, someone's at the door.
Someone's at the door.
The corner shop.
I hope you've got her on an hourly rate there, Rich. Anyway.
Let's not go down the Pat territory.
He's left the mic on. Let's have a listen.
Where is it?
Where is it? Hotel room.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is intrusive somewhere. Look at what we're doing.
Shut up.
Alan, I don't have the lawyers good enough to fight this battle. You're doing it.
Right, I've muted him. We probably should give Rich a little bit of privacy, I suppose.
Do you know what I mean?
Dear, oh dear.
Bloody right, privacy's out the window here. I'm just sat there going, I'm going to get sued. We're getting sued.
He's got a cup of tea now.
Probably has.
It's when the woman comes by with just a bra on, we have problems like that.
He's got breakfast sent to his room. We were listening because you left your mic on. We were going, "Who's this?" Shh, listen.
It was his own fault for leaving the mic on.
Rich, Alan was. Alan was the only one who was getting into that.
Yeah.
What goes morning coffee and porridge.
Where did you get to with the Pep versus? Where did you get the Pep versus Fergie debate? Who did you all settle on?
We haven't gone into that yet.
We're starting now, huh?
Yeah, we've been doing the derby for the last hour, mate. I mean, come on. Yeah. Where have you been? Just joking. But we are going to get into the Pep versus Ferguson debate now. Let's be honest. Let's get it how it is. Both are giants within the game.
Yeah.
I mean, even as City fans, we have to respect what Ferguson's done. We may not like the man. We may not want to kind of give me any sort of accolades, and we may not want to give him any sort of respect. But
back in 1 minute,
yeah, sure, mate. But we do have to kind of acknowledge what he has done for not only United, but also for what he did for the Premier League and for Manchester in some respects.
But change his rightful name to Taggart, please, or Bacon Face.
It's your last warning, Alan. Last warning.
Oh God.
Last and only warning from me.
Why would you get a warning for calling him Taggart or Bacon Face?
Because I know what comes next, Rich. That's why I'm giving them a warning. Not because those were that bad, but we know what will come, Rich. Let's be honest. So I'm preempting.
It's nice to see that nothing's changed, guys. Anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Fee, you haven't missed anything.
Yeah, normal service is resumed.
It really, really has. So, right. So, I think there's going to be some. I think there is going to be some agreements. I think there's going to be probably some disagreements, and I think there's going to be some nuances with this because I think some will probably turn around and say Ferguson was probably the best manager and Pep has probably been the best coach.
That's what I would say.
Where some people would, and I think that's probably where we probably may end up.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus, it's difficult because even though Pep managed Barcelona at the time when Fergie was still managing United, and they did play, and every time Pep won. But let's be fair, I mean that Barcelona team with Messi, I mean probably will go
best
down
ever,
best ever, if not, So it was an incredible team. So it's difficult to say in the Premier League, like versus each other. It's difficult to say really who would be the better manager if they come up against each other. If Pep had come earlier or Ferguson had lasted longer, it's difficult to say.
That's the thing, isn't it, Ozzy? If they were up against each other at the same period of time, then it would have been the real test. Because I feel like the Premier League, if you like, as is, was much less competitive back then. I feel like Pep, the way it is now, I do feel like he has been more successful in the sense of with the competitiveness, definitely. It's more intense. But also, you're right to say about him being a better manager because everybody knows that he managed his squad, he micromanaged them, he knew everything. He was, he was really good at his... Yeah, he was really good at his man management. And you've got to argue that nowadays the infrastructure of a football club is completely different. And you've got teams upon teams of people for every aspect of a footballer's life now and every aspect of their career. And I think it's fared slightly differently. So it's sort of like judging people in different eras for me. But I think they're both as important as each other, if that makes sense.
I'd also say as well that the competitiveness of the league when Fergie was around, obviously, I only saw obviously up from like the 2000s onwards, obviously when I was born. But when we look back at when he was there, mid-table teams in Premier League now are so much harder now to sort of deal with because the level and the money's gone up now in the league. Where for us to go to someone like Brentford away now is difficult because they've got some good players in that team that can hurt us. Whereas 10 years ago, do you remember that time where I had Norwich at home, 6-0 win? Like you kind of knew, like because it got away a better team than they do. I know it's kind of a bit preemptive, but you kind of knew we're at home here, we should win 4 or 5-0.
Yeah,
it doesn't really happen much anymore because everyone's much better. Like Sunderland have got a lot of good players now and look very good. Burnley actually look decent so far from what I've seen. So the Leeds, it's harder now because there's more money in the game. So people have been comparing it both. It's hard because back when Fergie was managing United, the teams in the table weren't really that good.
You had the top three, didn't you? You had the top three basically. You didn't have this whole fight for the top 5 and Champions League spots, and it just wasn't the same. You had the top 3, and that was it. You know, everybody else was either middling or relegation, and you never really. You're exactly bang on. You didn't have the likes of Aston Villa competing. It was just the same 3 every year.
I'll say this now about the league as it is right now, and you have to account for this, is if you play against anyone in the Premier League and you don't turn up, you get beat.
Yeah.
You get beat. Anyone could beat anyone in the Premier League because everyone gets a minimum of 100 million plus prize money. So they can afford to bring in decent footballers from across the world. And I personally think that you didn't have that when in 1999 when Fergie was in charge of United. United are top. It tortured us because we were having a bad time and they were winning everything. And we all went through that and it was hard. But I do agree with Ozzy's statement completely. I think Ferguson, without any doubt, is the best manager, and Pep is the best coach because Pep coaches his team. Where Ferguson drove United, even with a shit team that won the league in 2013, it was shit. They won the league. It was Ferguson who won that league, not United players.
Yeah,
and I think you've got to give credit to Bacon Face. You just have to. And at the end of the day, he's a winner. And he is a winner, and I respect that. His man management skills were very, very good.
Management, but Ferguson, let's be quite honest here. Ferguson did not change football. Ferguson took other people's ideas, spent the most money to buy the best players, did what everyone else was doing, and just did it better. Pep changed football.
Yeah,
every team plays football differently because of Pep. Professionalism of the game changed because of Pep. Positions and the way they play changed because of Pep. You go and watch goalkeepers playing in under-10s football in Australia and you'll see goalkeepers passing it around from the back and teams building up from the back. Pep changed football. Pep was an artist. He was an inventor. He was a genius who changed the game.
Ferguson, the revolutionary, wasn't
it? And in 100 years' time, people don't remember the great CEOs of companies. They remember he managed to take other people's ideas and talent and manage them well. They don't remember that.
Was it Pep or was it Cruyff?
It was Cruyff's style of play that also revolutionised and enhanced, let's say. But it's better now.
And then Pep.
But that's like, was it Michelangelo or Raphael? That's the thing.
Yeah. You'll never prove it.
But also as well, right? Pep's had to change the style so much. Like even when we looked at the great teams that we've had under Pep, he's had to change up a number of times because even Centurions, and you have Formidables after that. Then obviously the year after injuries happened, but it wasn't that bad. Got second in the League Cup, which was pretty good still. That's despite obviously the injuries we had. They changed it up again with the false 9, no striker. When no striker for about 2 years. Played obviously, false 9 in that, and it worked. Went on to leagues, got us more cups than that. And then again, with Haaland, treble season with full centre backs, he constantly keeps innovating and changing. Yeah, obviously last year wasn't great. Again, a lot more reasons than just him. I think that was the reason why last year wasn't so good. but the man's able to come up with so many different ideas that our managers won't think of. I think it's just incredible that people don't respect him enough. I think it's because of City, personally. I think because people don't like City, and it's what it is. I don't really care what we think anyway. But what Pep has done in this league, and also for football in general, is someone that we're remembered for the next 100 years or so. That's what.
Oh, gotcha.
And there's no Ferguson side that would get within 6 goals of Pep's best teams to see. I know it's because players are fitter and stronger and better technique, but honestly, the difference in the game from, you know, the almost amateur football played by, you know, United back in the 90s, where you had 10 seconds on the ball before someone came there, where centre-backs just had to hoof it into the stand and all that, compared to what players have to do now. You're centre-back now, you get impressed within 1.5 seconds of getting the ball. You got to ping a 30-metre ball to the foot of another player who's then got 1.5 seconds before the press. It's just a different sport, and the level of fitness, strength, and everything else is, you know, it's a different era. And I think, but Ferguson was an exceptional manager, but that's all he ever did. He took other people's ideas, other people's players. He bought the most expensive players in the league, and then he played the way everyone else did and just did it better than them. And that's, you know, that's a talent. That's what makes most CEOs good. It's what makes most people rich. But he didn't change anything. Football did not change because of him.
It's like Rich. It's like anything. Someone's just mentioned a genius on the column today. That's the blue art, Brian Clough. When Brian Clough came to Forest and Derby, unbelievable football that people hadn't seen before.
Yeah,
and you know,
Don Revie changed football.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of people who changed football, and Ferguson didn't.
Arsene Wenger.
Yeah,
Wenger changed football more than Ferguson did. Yeah,
he was an incredible manager. Yeah.
I mean,
I think if we look at Ferguson and Pep, okay, I think the quick arguments are that obviously Ferguson has won more trophies in the Premier League than Pep has. Okay, but
domestic ones,
and I think, you know, and however you look at the percentages and the time that Pep has been in the league, he's won more games than Ferguson. He's done more in the 10 years that Pep has been in the Premier League. He has achieved so much more than Ferguson in that time. Okay, Ferguson had 20 years, didn't he, of where he basically, as you have all pointed out, that the league wasn't as competitive and the players were where they are today at being, you know, prime athletes. Do you know what I mean? And having to do things that ping balls, like Rich was saying, you know. So I think
he had the longevity, didn't he?
He had the longevity, definitely. And I think, you know, as has been said, like, manager for man management style. I mean, he ran United as well. Like, all the decisions were his. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So there is no denying that he was old school, and he basically had the grip of not only the club but the players. Do you know what I mean? So there's no denying that. I think if Pep was, and we don't know still, because I mean, I know the you know, he signed a 2-year extension, and there are rumours that he might go after that, but he may stay longer. If Pep for me was to stay longer and to keep up the way he has done so far, which is a tall order, but if he was, I think he could outstrip Ferguson. I really do, because he is a better coach.
And really, I just think it's not even a question. He would outstrip him easily.
I think, you know, I mean, I was listening to the overlap today, and there was just so much from opposition fans and United fans where they were just like, Ferguson's the best ever, so there's no, you know, argument, blah, blah, you know, and it was just like, yeah, okay, we know that. But because this is Pep at City, if he was managing United, he would be getting the accolades. And he'll get the accolades once he leaves properly. Like, it'll be, you know, as we all will know one day, especially City fans, when he goes, I think we are going to miss him dearly. I think we are going to but you know, it's that old saying, isn't it? You don't realise what you've got until it's gone. And I've heard so many.
There'll be a drop off. There'll be a drop off.
It will be a drop off. Also be.
Yeah.
But by rival fans and commentators, he'll probably be lauded because he's no longer a threat.
It's what it is, and it also because it's City. If it's any other club, right, he'd be actually getting the comparison, but because it's City, because no one likes us.
Yeah.
We've cheated. If Pep's a checkbook manager is a fraud, that's what they'll say.
Yeah.
Well, I said
it last night.
But so was Fergie.
Ferguson's more successful than Pep in the same way that Emil Heskey and Jamie Vardy are better goal scorers than Erling Haaland by virtue of time. And you know, I'm not quite saying Ferguson's probably a better manager than Emil Heskey and Vardy were strikers, but Ferguson's there because Bob Paisley would have won more than Fergie did if Bob Paisley had stayed for 30 years at Liverpool. I mean, you know,
he was a brilliant manager, Bob Paisley.
Bob Paisley was, but he was only manager for a few seasons, so his strike rate for trophies and winning stuff was miles better than Ferguson's. But he was older and he didn't stay for that long. So if you stay for 30 years at a top club doing well, you're going to be better than a manager in terms of overall trophies who only stayed for 5 years. And so it's a silly comparison in a way. I mean, you know, of course, you know, it takes a lot to win a lot, but he was there, 30 something seasons, and a lot of the best managers have only been, you know, Pep can't win as many trophies in 10 years as Ferguson did, even if he wins the quad every year.
Yeah, it's physically impossible. Yeah, it is a silly sort of comparison in that sense. People say about Fergie being like a dynasty builder as well. But, you know, Pep revolutionised football, like you say, Rich.
United have been a basket case.
Yeah.
Ferguson left United as a basket case. They've been a joke
an fifth
for 12
situation,
years because
wasn't
of the mess.
He saw what
Ferguson,
let's be honest.
Yeah, was that Ferguson or was that the owners? But, you know, and I think, you know, the Glazers take a lot of part of that responsibility. But let's not pretend that Fergie chose his successor and he chose dramatically and appropriately. He did short-term things for the last 2 or 3 years. He publicly supported the ownership in return for getting, you know, a very nice last contract. So a lot of United's problems today are down to Ferguson.
True.
He left 15-year problem.
And
if he takes the credit for all the good stuff he had, leave us. If Pep goes, we could be in the same situation because the club's run top to bottom in Pep's shape, and the next manager, who knows, it could be a massive problem. But you know, that's one thing. Where Bob Paisley handed over the club to another manager who was then equally successful. Yeah. So, you know, I think there's you know, there's immense credit that can go to Ferguson, but because he was dictator of the club, he left it in a mess when he left.
Yeah. Well, if you look at it right as well, right? I mean, if it wasn't for Fergie, right, like I don't think United would have won as many leagues they did, obviously, in the 2000s. Like, obviously, early 2000s were really good, obviously, but the level of the squad dropped off massively, even though they were buying players in. Now, obviously, Chelsea and Arsenal obviously came into it, obviously, and we're getting trophies often. Chelsea obviously got under Abramovich and got in there as well. But the leagues that, like Fergie managed to get a Champions League with a team that was, you know, compared to other teams that he's had, were near as good. And he still managed to get stuff out of it. So I think Fergie kind of knew where it was going after, I think, in 2013. That's probably why he retired, I think, because he kind of knew what kind of mess was awaiting the next manager anyway. But you're right, I think it wasn't for Fergie. I think a lot of trophies that probably wouldn't have won. I don't know what happened.
I think, you know, I mean, there's the argument, as been said, like, you know, that Pep's a checkbook manager, which at the end of the day, United have outspent everyone in the league, and they haven't won any success in the last 10 years. So it's not just about money; it's about the manager and the players on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So that just really doesn't
Wasn't it? Isn't it 15 really seasons? Yeah, I think 15 seasons. Ferguson was the top spender in the Premier League, 15 seasons or something.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's like the idea that United did it all. From the academy, they had one great side that came from the academy, and they filled it up with other players who were costing, by today's standards, 100 million signings. They've got record after record.
We all know why they're allowed to do that.
Because they're United.
Because in 1992 they went on the stock exchange. Where'd that?
Yeah, I mean the other argument that I've heard a lot of, and again I heard it on the Overlap and I've heard it with other channels, is that Ferguson rebuilt, didn't he, several times? He rebuilt these squads and everything, and Pep basically was handed, great squads when he first came into the clubs, like Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and City. Well, if you really look at City's squad was starting to decline. I mean, when he first came in, he finished third. Am I remembering rightly?
Yeah,
third in the first time around. And it was obvious, we had massive issues at full-back, centre-back.
Well, there wasn't a meltdown when we finished third then, either, wasn't there?
No, there wasn't. But for me, the only player that was there.
It was from Alan. Alan wanted Pep out.
Yeah, he did.
It's a good job we're not having a Mancini versus Pep, though, isn't it? It's a really good job we're not having Mancini versus Pep.
It's easy. It's easy.
Alan Scott paid his bet Alan bet that City wouldn't get.
But am I remembering rightly? The only two players that really stuck around that had the success really was Kevin De Bruyne and Sterling when he first came in. And ever since that point, he rebuilt. Do you know what I mean? He brought
Fernandinho and things. There were others.
Fernandinho, But majority, there was a spine.
There were a few others.
He had to rebuild from that point onwards, and he's rebuilt a good few times for me. He's brought in a lot of good players. The players that we think about that have gone, and contributed to this side. Do you know what I mean?
And he's doing it again currently, isn't he?
Yep.
He is.
This is
the argument would be,
I
think it is. And I think the argument would be that I think the rebuild, as we've said before, probably should have happened a lot sooner. And Pep and the rest of the coaching staff and the players are currently trying to get this team, because at the end of the day, the big characters have gone. The Kevin De Bruyne's, the companies, the David Silvers, the Sterlings, those players have now all gone. Do you know what I mean? I mean, now he's having to start to rebuild. And the biggest rebuild is always, with the Pep side, is that midfield, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
We think about the midfields that we've had in the past. So, for me, the argument still doesn't settle because he has rebuilt.
Yeah, I mean, well, even right now, you're starting to see obviously the makings of a new team. But obviously, like any rebuild, obviously it doesn't take a couple of games to obviously get it right. But obviously, it's frustrating because you want to obviously see this team play well and gel. But like we all know, with rebuilds, it takes maybe a season or so to bed in. Then next year we'll probably be a lot more free flowing. So unfortunately, it's one of those things where I think a lot of people need to be a bit more patient with it. I'm patient with it. If it is what it is this season, I'll hopefully we do a lot better than last year, especially when we finish in the league and hopefully get a cup and that. But it's all about, as long as we improve over the season and get better and improve on our mistakes, then that's what I value as a good season this year. Then next year we have to go again.
Yeah, exactly. We're City fans for life, and that's the thing. It's the future of the club that we care about, as well as just success everywhere along the way. And this rebuild's heading in the right direction. We've just had a really intense schedule. The Club World Cup didn't help it. I agree, Alan. And I think that all of that intensity and that build up. Pep even said himself, I think earlier in the year, come autumn, we're all going to be either injured or, frazzled, basically. And it's coming to light.
Well, let's be honest, Fee. After the treble, we all thought there'd probably be a drop off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And as you just said, the amount of games that team played, and you know, we think about the 100 points, you know, the record-breaking, you know, points that we've got, you know. We think about just the performances these players did over the years of the last 5 years, you know, in that intense period. Then to go on to win a 4-peat, do you know what I mean? It absolutely incredible. Ferguson never did any of that.
Well, that's what I was just going to say as well, Ozzy. The points since Pep's been City manager, you know, you needed 90+ points to win a league. You know, you need to be up there. And back in the days of Fergie, like I say, there was just the top 3. You know, there wasn't much competition. You kind of knew who you were up against year after year. And like you say, you know, Rich, he spent to keep up with that continual sort of top 3 position. And he won, and, you know, fair play and whatever. But if you're needing, if a manager comes in and instantly makes that impact, which, you know, Pep did, and you're having to earn 90 points before you can get anywhere near to winning a league, you know, that's the caliber of a manager that just, for me, can't be beaten.
Yeah. I mean, as you just said, Fee, you know, to win the league, you've got to get 90+ points, you know, and we look at the closest manager that came to it who really challenged us, you know, was Klopp. Do you know what I mean? And he quit the league because he you know, there's that famous quote that he turned around and went, Liverpool can't outspend City. Oh, I'm sorry. What did they do this summer? Completely and utterly outspent us and the rest of the bloody league. So, I'm sorry, but it was just sour grapes.
People forget, right, that we've only spent £100 million on a player once. We haven't spent it twice or 3 times like other clubs have. We've spent it once on one player. Like, I don't know.
Liverpool in that sentence.
This is what I mean. Like, I'm sure one day we'll was do it again at some point.
Fair though. The Liverpool side did push City all the way and improved us because of that. Because if you know you got someone up your arse like they did, we had to win every game. We had to win every game. And they pushed us and made us better. They made us better. They did.
Definitely. There's no argument there, Alan. I agree with you totally there. But I look at just the Premier League era. The managers that seem to have really kind of dominated is the Ferguson, the Pep, you know, Arsene Wenger, and probably Mourinho. And don't tell me they didn't spend money to try and win leagues, because they did.
Everyone did.
The whole rubbish about, you know, I think we can say one club that didn't do that, and that's Leicester. But that was just an absolute.
Let's go back to when the Premier League first started.
That was bizarre, Leicester winning. Really bizarre.
Blackburn Rovers won the league because they had the money and they spent big. And they certainly did.
Exactly. So apart from Leicester, we can all say that the clubs that have won the Premier League in the last few decades, it's been because they've spent money.
Yeah.
Okay. And they've spent it well.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a club out there that exists that has purely cultivated academy stock and won everything. It doesn't exist. Sorry, Rich.
You can go back to Sunderland in 130 years ago, the Bank of England club. Since football went professional in the Lancashire, you know, teams in the 1870s, etc., football's always been won by teams with money. It's never been. It's an absolute joke. You know, when
what colour shirts did you wear then, Rich?
They signed 2 players who were the equivalent of over 100 million as a championship side by today's standards.
Yep.
So it's just, football has always been about money. You know, Arsenal, when they became a force in the 30s, they spent money, they got the best players. And like the idea that you can just, I mean, it's just naive to think that it doesn't require money. It's no coincidence, you know, that Liverpool and Arsenal catch City as their wage bills and their spending goes up and ours plateaus. It's not just football, it's sport. You know, Britain, you know, 25, 30 years ago, we'd get about 1 gold medal, pump in about 10 times the money and suddenly 25 gold medals. It's just reality of life. And people who try to pretend otherwise are just deluding themselves.
Sorry, did someone just throw up a clock comment?
A what?
Someone just put that clock comment back up for us.
This one.
No. One guy before. Football knowledge, whatever his name is. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
Get out of town. We're having a serious debate about serious managers, not people who come second. Carry on.
Champions League, and
If we're having a chat about bridesmaids, you can compare Klopp with Arteta because you both were the bridesmaids.
To be fair,
Klopp and Arteta are close.
Klopp's at least one staff, not Arteta.
Behave, Klopp and Pep. We're having a serious combo here. What you doing?
Yeah.
Talking about title winners.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm not even entertaining that. Really, I'm not.
There's always one indie lurking in the background. There's always one there going, I'm going to throw me Klopp in.
Yeah. No. I'm sorry. I mean, yes, Klopp.
It's like I got told off a Newcastle fan the other day. Eddie Howard is one of the top managers in the country. Piss off!
He's a good manager, but he's a good manager.
He's the best. He's the best English one.
He probably is one of the He's one of the top managers in the country. The top manager in the country, but he's up there with
Klopp's not
clear. He's up there with what?
Top 5 or 6 managers.
So Eddie Howe's up there with Klopp.
Oh dear.
Knowledge.
Mate, you're on one tonight. Wow.
Back off.
Yeah. You know,
just
some managers.
I appreciate the comments and the support.
Some managers some managers win the league they're in once every 10 years on average. Some managers win it 7 to 8 times every 10 years on average, and that is Klopp compared to Pep. It's just ridiculous. I mean,
Rich, you've got a little bit of Klopp lookalike in you. You have got a bit of Klopp in you there with that.
I would.
And I don't even win one league every 10 seasons.
Rich, it's one time now. I would like to have Leo just on our screen listening to this, because he was talking about how Spurs are we're a proper football club. We don't spend money, but we still win European trophies. I'm like, oh my fucking god! I had it all last night. You would have cleaned him out big time, Rich. Big time.
Listen, I'm just because I know I'm late to this. I'll just have my quick 5 minutes worth, if you don't mind, ladies and gents, lady and gents. For me, the reason I wanted to do this was because, listen, I ain't going to sit here and tag team onto one City fan, because that's a cool thing to do, because my best mate's in the background and I've got to look like I'm shiny for the camera. Simple fact is, a lot of things that's been said. Was Ferguson a great manager? Yes, 100%. But there's this belief that Ferguson, Pep's bought everything. Ferguson didn't buy everything. And it's the biggest lie, because what Ferguson used to do, he was very good, and someone may have already spoken about this. When he saw the team up and coming into the league, or was a little bit of a threat, he went straight to their club and took their best player out of it.
Yeah.
And I can give you a list right now. Aston Villa, Dwight York. Saw them come in straight out. If you remember, John Gregory, Villa were on the march, didn't want any of that. Newcastle United, on the march. So what does he do? Go and take Andy Cole out. Oh, he throws him a nice bone and gives him Keith Gillespie, who wasn't really being used in the Man United squad at the time. So you can have Keith Gillespie and we'll take your best player out of the squad. Well, that's nice. Leeds United saw them coming. It was their best player at the time. Oh, certain Frenchman called Eric Cantona. Sorry, I'll have him as well. Yeah. Dennis Irwin, Oldham, took him out. Gary Pallister, Middlesbrough, took him out. Veron, Stam, Rooney, 16. Oh, no. I'm even going to spend 30 million quid on a 16-year-old now. Yeah. Rio Ferdinand at West Ham. Leeds United. I'll take him. What are we doing here? This pretend stuff that he spent no money and he was doing it on a shoestring budget. He's crazy. He spent 30-odd million on one Sebastian Veron and played him about 5 times.
Yeah.
You know, and then everyone goes on about Pep's flops. Pep's flops. He brings in Calvin Phillips and he brings in Nolito and he does all this. And look at, well, should we have a chat about Eric Jemba? Should we open this kind of worms, people? Because I don't mind. Cheers, Rich. I seriously don't mind. But this bullshit narrative that comes out that Ferguson never, ever, ever made mistakes is an absolute waffle.
Kujak.
Because Kujak. There was Eric, like I said, Jemba. Who was the other one he bought? Nane. That wasn't a great productive signing in the end. It was the Anderson, the next Brazilian superstar.
Wow.
The only Brazilian thing about him was his Mrs. Bikini line. I ain't listening to the bullshit anymore coming out of this false narrative. It's garbage. Paul Parker, Jones. He bought him. Schmeichel, he bought him. He did. And it's like that, you don't win anything. You know, this belief he won the treble with kids. Go and check the starting 11 of the Champions League final. Look at Manchester City's Champions League final squad. There were virtually the same amount of EDS and young players in there. But it's never mentioned because it's not allowed to be mentioned. Because Henning Berg, again, another guy that they saw coming out of Blackburn Rovers, so he wanted a bit of him. So he took him as well. Tried to get David Batty and Alan Shearer, but he couldn't get them. Here's a simple fact to this. It is a false narrative. Yes, he brought in some kids. I've no doubt about that. But he didn't bring them all. It's a false narrative. As soon as Pep Guardiola... and then we'll talk about Pep Guardiola and Barcelona and what he did to him. Slapped him on numerous occasions. Now, we'll look at the Bayern Munich thing. Pep Guardiola. He didn't actually spend loads. He spent a bit of money at Bayern. It was nowhere near what everyone thinks it was.
No. Not at all.
He's won 2 Champions Leagues. Yeah. And the biggest thing is Aberdeen. Well, I'm terribly sorry that Barcelona took the gamble from La Masia to give Pep the job. So what you're telling me is Pep Guardiola, with no first-team managerial experience ever, other than being in La Masia, took Barcelona and made him the greatest football team on the planet. Pep Guardiola didn't have an Aberdeen to learn at. It's like going from an EDS manager to becoming the best team in the world for the first team.
And bear in mind,
that was Pep's learning stand.
Also, he saw was it
Bebe.
He saw was it Ronaldinho, didn't he? It's like who did he sell at Barcelona team? Was it Ibrahimovic he sold as well, didn't he? Like certain players.
Ronaldinho, Deco, Ibrahimovic, Samuel Eto'o. There was loads he canned out.
But 3 midfielders in the Masia, Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets.
What annoys me, Luke, it's like what we're doing is now, if you get a youngster out of the academy, which is what everyone praised Ferguson for with Beckham and Giggs. By the way, Giggs was from the City Academy, so you stole that one. Let's stop pretending that. You also stole, if you really wanted to know the story behind that 99 Dream Team, well, yeah, we can sit down and have that combo because a lot of them came out of the City Academy, not the United one. Apparently they were all 3 years old on the cliff kicking balls around. They were not. They were in the City Academy at the time, but not at 3. But this is what I mean. I wish people start giving facts to this. People need to start giving facts to proper stuff.
And I'm sorry,
it's something to bash Pep with right now.
I'm not going to have Mourinho in this conversation either.
I'll get out of here.
Respect to Mourinho and what he did, but he's not in the conversation between Pep and Ferguson. So, no.
There's no third wheel. There's no third wheel there.
Should who's the guy at Barca now? What's he called? Oh, his name's gone out my head. Hansi Flick. Should Hansi Flick? Should he not have your mouth?
That's what I mean.
Should he say no? I'm not going to play you now. Came out of their academy, but I'm not going to play him.
Yeah.
No, he's achieved the dream there. The academy boys done good.
That's true as well.
Well, that was the other thing. Listen, he's won a double in 94, 95. He won a double in 95, 96. Yeah, Pep did all that in his first 2 seasons, mate. He also got 100 points. He also did a domestic quad, something Ferguson said was unachievable. Unachievable from the greatest ever manager, apparently. Well, it wasn't unachievable because the ball fraud did it. You know, that checkboard fraud.
Yeah, I got
trouble would never be repeated.
Leo called him a checkbook fraud last night. It was hilarious.
Yeah. It's a lot of. Do you know what? And this is why I plead with City fans. And people call me happy clapper for it. Do you know what you're doing is we don't need. We are doing rival jobs. Do you know why they're slagging Pep off? Do you know why they want Pep gone? Because once they get Pep gone, they'll have a chance.
Yeah,
they'll have a chance.
Yeah,
we are doing rivals jobs for them at the moment. Yes, we can constructively criticise Pep the same way Ferguson was constructively criticised, but this downplaying of his career, his stature, everything else, because he's going to get everything Ferguson get. He'll get a stand named after him. He'll get a statue. Can I play that? What's the debate in 10 years? Who's got the best and biggest statue? What are we doing here? It's a false narrative because you can't stand Manchester City. Because you've got your tongues in your noses shoved so far up those red twats that you cannot give it up.
Red card.
Man United are yesterday's news. They should be more bothered at having debates about rats and the leak pissing water in them. They should be even debating Ferguson because there's been about 6-7 managers since Ferguson and they've all been shite. Sort your own out before you're even getting into our territory. Because you were 20 years ago. We're now. Good night, Vienna. Ferguson, great. Pep, no chance. He's nowhere near his level. Thank you.
Fuck off, Taggart. Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Thank you and good night.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good night.
Drop the mic. We're done.
Fuck off, Taggart. Fuck off, bacon face.
I do want bacon face.
Well, I think, in all honesty, I think the debate there is probably done. I think, like, as we've all said, we give Ferguson the respect of what he did over the time that he was at United. But as we've all said, you know, Pep is the better coach. He has done way more in the short tenure than Ferguson did. And yeah, I think it's one of those where the respect on Pep's name isn't going to be given properly by rival fans and certain pundits that we all know of. Until he's
sorry,
gone.
One more thing, guys. I've been quite rude now. Forgot all about this. Who did United fans beg, wank, wet dream over when Ferguson left? Who did they want as a manager?
Pep Guardiola.
Who were they begging for?
Pep. I remember it. Fully.
Yeah. I remember a certain somebody else coming out. Might as well be Celtic. Might as well be bitter. And you call them better. Get up.
Yes. Receipts. We have receipts of them.
Yeah, and I've got a lot of receipts.
Yeah.
I also look like an elephant and I've got a mind like one. So yes.
Yeah. And Haaland's a League 2 striker. Yeah.
League 2 striker.
Yeah.
Oh, is that because you went into a meeting and he told you thanks but no thanks? Because unlike Sanchez, he doesn't chase the money.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think this debate will not end anytime soon, and everyone has their opinions, obviously from our point and from opposition fans, especially United fans. So, but I think we have made a very good debate tonight on this question. So,
It's just a shame.
Thank you all for taking part.
It's just a shame.
Next week, Mancini versus Pep.
Oh God.
I think we're just going to have you and Alan on that show. Nobody else needs to be involved.
Yeah, head to head.
Oh.
It's not. Let's be honest. It's not even a debate, is it? It's not even a debate.
No, it's not.
Alan will try.
Mancini.
Alan will try.
Mancini.
There's absolutely no point in it, but it'll be entertaining anyway.
Yeah, listen, I love Mancini, Alan. He'll always have a special place in my heart. But he was an arrogant so by the end.
So.
You know it was.
Yeah, definitely.
I might know. I'm all for arrogance.
But listen, do you want to see my Mancini wall? Which was one behind the desk. Well, as I walk down the stairs here, there's pictures of Mancini on the wall going up. I fucking love him. I love him.
We know, Alan. We're all very much.
You know, if Sam Allardyce should have given you the first Premier League in like 50 years, you'd have had a shrine of Sam Allardyce. It's not the Mancini, it's the fact that he brought that first league title you won't give over.
He would have had his children if he could have.
We're gonna play 4-4-2.
Just one second. I'll just.
Oh my God, he's going getting him. He's going getting him. This is the part of the show where Alan goes rogue. Always picking the camera up. You haven't got anyone in your house, have you, Alan?
No, Dave.
He's putting his socks on last time.
Oh, dear.
Hey?
Remember, Alan, when you got caught putting your socks on?
Yeah, I did. I did get caught. I'm just going to do this very slowly.
It's time before he goes to the toilet.
I'll tell you what,
we need to
Ozzy, make him full screen. Let's let him have his 5 minutes. Go on.
There you go. As I walk down the stairs, you've got the Mancini.
Whoa.
So closer. There's the Mancini.
There he is.
There he is. A little lower, Alan.
I've got a
Amazing.
A little lower, yeah. Can you zoom in a bit? I've got eyes like Rich.
Right, can you get to see that now?
Yeah.
No, Jesus.
Italian flag and trophy, FA Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
The Mancini.
Is that one up top in black and white?
So hang on,
No,
just chill out. Just chill out. And then you've got
Got a health tour.
there's my desk, and you've got the Mancini there.
Love it.
Oh, they are nice. You spent some money there, Alan.
I have.
They ain't cheap.
Another one there. Roberto. And then the Vincent Company shirt. Signed.
Big up.
You've got David Silva.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this is one of my favourite ones. Pepper Mercer.
Why is Pepper Mercer the smallest one and Mancini's got a shrine? What's that about?
That's the pet wall.
I think we know what that's about, Martin, let's be honest.
Joe Mercer and Pep Guardiola get like a stamp. Mancini gets a whole wall. Hang on. What about Paul Manuel?
Oh no! I told but when he came over here in 2015 on the tour, at the end of that, we went to watch them train at the Amy Stadium, and as they were signing autographs, he walked along to sign autographs, and he signed one of my for an autograph for me, and I turned around and said to him, "Don't forget to clean your desk out at the end of the season because Pep's coming." So that's what I just told him, and exactly what happened. What was Alan's reaction on Donnarumma? Tell you what, good first interview that wasn't it? Very professional. I did like that. I'm not seeing
very
it yet,
good.
so
Yeah, hang on.
It was really, really good. Look forward to it, Alan.
Time everyone.
Listen,
just time out because Alan, hang on,
Oh.
Alan. You can have your say in a second, but I have to do this because I missed it earlier, and I can only apologise to Lee Gates. Really sorry, mate. So,
Big up,
Lee Gates.
Mate.
I think we have missed Covert in the cup final last season. My team for Sunday: Donnarumma, Nunes, Diaz, Stones, Guardiola, Rodri, Reinders, Bernardo, Foden, Doku, Haaland. It's a good shout, mate. It's a very good shout.
Yep, I'd take that.
That's fine. Yeah.
Listen, when it comes to Donnarumma slag, I'm not bothered about his interview. I won't be watching it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a show killer.
Okay.
I'm just going to try and move past that as very quickly as we can.
Apologies for anyone called Donna.
Yeah.
Don't mention that name to me, please.
Last warning, Alan.
The ex-fiance can sod off.
Kathy's asked a good question. Whoa, where's he gone?
Right.
Oh dear.
Where was your Colin Bell shrine? You not got anything on Colin Bell, Brian, or Alan Ball?
That's downstairs in the bedroom.
What, Alan Ball?
Have you got
a picture of Alan Ball in your bedroom?
Yeah.
Alan Ball's awesome.
You should have known.
Yeah.
Have you got Calvin Phillips wallpaper?
No.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Calvin's fit. Calvin's fit now. He's training.
I'm right back. Let's go.
Yeah, but he's not in the squad, Martin. So yeah.
Can you imagine how he feels? He's just roaming around going. Some of the lads are like, "Who are you? Who are you? What are you doing here?"
Yeah. Random player.
So Johnny Reinders is going. What? You're a midfielder? Really?
Hey, after
Martin, I said before, just throw him in at right back if he was in the squad. Why not? See what happens.
No, but we'll get Doc 10 points. He's not in the squad. We'll get
I know. If he was, though, you know what I mean? I'm just like at that point where I'm like, come on, just give anyone a go.
Oh, are we talking Chelsea's 97 points, 97 charges?
No, we haven't gone to the headlines yet, Martin. But just before we do get on to some of the headlines like that, and go, because we're going to be ending soon, I just want to get your take, Martin, because you briefly mentioned it. But Donnarumma, yes, he's finally made it to Manchester after the international break, and we did mention earlier on about his interview. I think we were all quite impressed, the ones that have seen it. What are your thoughts, mate? Because you haven't said. Do you feel that he'll start at the weekend, or do you think consistency with Trafford is the way to go?
No, I think he should start and will start probably. I think he's starting Trafford out of a token gesture.
I agree. Yeah.
I don't mean the fans doing out so because you know he's not going to start the rest. Apart from, I would like him to start Trafford because he deserves it after he's man of the match. But Donnarumma is his guy. He's wanted him for a while. He's finally got him. He thinks he's the best in the world. I just think he will play. He was brought for occasions like this to play in the big games. He's used to it. I'm not saying Trafford can't do it. I said it last night on stateside. I don't think Trafford will be here long term anymore. I know that's hard. I know that's unfair. Do I agree with it from a human aspect? No. But this season, and I will say this on every show, and I've said it, it's badge before any name on the back. And I have to do go with what's best for the football club, not the player, not the individual player anymore.
Yeah.
Martin, I agree with what you've just said there. I actually said this tonight because obviously my husband's a Newcastle fan, and I was saying obviously they were going in for him and everything, but I can see him now basically doing what Ortega wants and seeking out a number one position somewhere eventually. I think that's where we're heading.
He'll be gone in January, Trafford.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day,
but it's football, I guess.
It's sad.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's a ruthless.
It's a ruthless job. Let's be honest.
If it was him and Ortega, it'd be all right. Like no one would be. If Trafford can come in the first place, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know, M2 as the options, but Trafford coming in. I mean, obviously everyone wants him to, and I want to see him get number one shirt. I did because I thought he's had the ability to go and do it, but I wouldn't blame him if he was to leave because I think he's deserving of that level. I think he's good enough to do it.
For his own sake, because he wants to play for England, he needs to play number one somewhere. He has to go.
He does.
He has to look after himself, and I'm fully behind him on that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the best where he does go.
Well, there is chances, and I'm just saying it could happen. Donnarumma could have an absolute stinker, and all of a sudden Trafford's back, between the sticks, and Donnarumma leaves in January or the beginning of next summer. It could happen.
We'll see what happens. We'll see.
You never know.
I don't. You never know with City at the minute.
No,
you don't. All I want to see now is Isaac in Liverpool do his ACL in the first game. Fucking hilarious.
Whoa, we're not wishing injuries on players.
No, we're not wishing injuries. I want to beat the best team on the pitch.
I think you might do if you're a Newcastle fan, like.
Yeah, that's probably a fair show.
Well, I'm not being funny. Some Newcastle fans, some, because Baz and everyone else and Ian, top lads, some Newcastle fans can kiss my big blue ass this week.
Mate,
People are spending £10 to call me a cartel wanker. I'm like, calm down, sunshine. It's not my fault you've got shit owners. Tell your owners to put their hand in the pocket. We'll have a chinwag.
I've never heard of a blue cartel. I've certainly heard of a red one, but never a blue one. So what are they on about?
Apparently it's our fault now because their owners can't go and get a sponsorship deal.
Okay. They would do exactly the same in a court case. Exactly the same.
Oh, do you mean like when they voted for the 115?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
People in glass houses.
Don't throw stones.
Anyway, listen, on that note, I'm going to nip out because I've got work in the morning and I'm going to say goodbye.
I'll see you in 6 months. See you in 6 months. Please say bye to everyone.
Martin, I'm off to the other Canaries and I'll see you in a year, okay?
I mean, you say I go on holiday a lot. Jesus, I'm going to rename her Judith Chalmers. Telling you.
You do.
No, she's not really going, Alan. Alan, Jesus. It's a private joke, Alan. Jesus.
You go Canaria.
We'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.
See you, Ferg.
Bye.
Just got a message from Pat. He said he hasn't obviously been able to make it. I did say at the top of the show that he wasn't particularly well, but he has given a prediction. Yeah. So his prediction is 2-1 City. That's fair enough. It's not a bad.
Has anyone gone for a defeat? I haven't seen the match. Has anyone gone for a defeat?
Well, Alan did a bit of a joke and he said, "What was it? 3-0."
Yeah, you did say 3-0.
Yeah,
3-0 United.
Alan,
silence was biblical, eh?
I'm sorry to do this live on air. I really need this. Just a very serious moment. Do not message me during the derby. Please, I will not be in the emotional state to handle your messages during the derby. I will not be in that mood.
2 hours,
please.
No.
Yeah.
No, and listen, I'm gonna take this moment. I would like, listen, Sunday I want to win. I want to win. Because it's City, it's blue. I want everyone to get along and be happy because I'm sick of all the fighting.
Yeah.
And I would like them to win for my father as well this some weekend. Sadly, my daddy's. I'm going to let people know he's not looking good at the minute. We're having a very bad time. Keeps kicking out. I was going to pray he kicks out again, but yeah. So if I'm not about in and out for next week, you know why? It's just a very up and down moment at the moment. So I'm fighting on all levels at the moment. So yeah.
Well,
I appreciate all the messages.
Wish you the best, mate. Wish you the best.
I'm going to shoot Martin because I've got work to do. I've got work to do now. All right.
All right. Whoa, thanks, Alan.
Yeah. Cheers, Alan.
Cheers, pal. Ta-da.
Right. We will be wrapping up soon, but I'm just going to quickly say this on behalf of the channel. I'm sure I speak for everyone watching and who supports the channel. We all wish your dad the best, Martin, and your family. And we all understand that you need to take time away. You take the time, mate, and we'll fill in where we can. So yeah. Listen, we are going to wrap it up there because we're dropping like flies and it is getting late. So I think the Chelsea stuff will have to come at the next video, mate. So, Martin, is there anything you want to kind of say before we wrap up, mate?
No, not in a minute. Just thank you.
Okay.
No worries.
No worries, mate. Honestly, no worries. Listen, we will be back. All depending, I think, on how the result goes on Sunday. If we can be, we will have a stream at the end of the game. After some point in the night, if we're all available, we'll come on. If it's not the result we're all hoping for, we may leave it till Monday until things are calmed down a little bit. Because let's be honest, it's a derby, and if it's another loss, then
If they win, then they're positive next week.
Yeah, we'll try and do some.
Over.
Well, if we win a draw, we'll be live Sunday night. If not, we'll be live.
Positivity.
When the meltdown,
Positivity. We're going to win.
when the meltdown ends.
Positivity.
I'm all right now. I'm composed again. My apologies. Then I'm done with all the meltdowns. I'm done with it all. I'm done with all the meltdowns.
Yeah, I think we all, mate.
We're all meant to be City fans, and and I just want to win for them. I want to win for everyone. And we can get a bit of positivity.
Definitely, mate. Definitely.
And then we've got Napoli and Arsenal.
Yep.
You know the weird thing is, we played Inter Milan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First home game last season in the Champions League, and do you know who we played the first Premier League game after that?
Wasn't it?
Arsenal.
It was, yeah.
And we've got Napoli at home in the first game at home, Italian champs. And we've got Arsenal the game after again.
Do you know what? I would take 2 wins and a draw. If you've got a 2-1 win on Sunday, beat Napoli, got a draw at Emirates, I'll take it right now. I would take it.
I think I'd take that, Luke, if I'm honest.
Obviously,
I'd take a draw against Napoli.
Obviously, win all 3. Well, that'd be great, but I'm being real sim right now. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I want 2 wins and a draw. I'll take the draw at the Emirates.
Yeah, I'll bet that.
Fair enough. I think I would personally take the draw at Napoli because at the end of the day, it's a Champions League. It's the first lot of rounds, and I think we could drop, a couple of points there.
It's gonna be weird.
So that's my opinion.
It's gonna be weird.
Do you know what it is, Ozzy? I know you want to end, but do you know what it is for me? I think Dap said it earlier this morning on Mancunian Way. South Stand goes on Mancunian Way goes south. I'm not excited on the Champions League at the minute. I'm more concerned about being good in the Premier League right now.
I'm the same, mate.
The sort of Champions League is a bit of a sidebar at me at the minute. I don't think we're in the right state for the Champions League right now.
I think it's more for me, mate. I think it's more. I think it's an extra game that we can use to sort of build confidence and build.
Big up, Cather.
Because I'm being real, mate. I think having that extra game will help us sort of get players back as well when they're fit and we get a bit more momentum going. But yeah, I do agree with you. In terms of competing for it this year, I'm not betting us to actually win it at all this year. I think there'll be more of a next year down the line. I think we'll be up for it. I think we need to sort of
and Andrew's proved my point. There's 9,000 Napoli tickets still available.
I'm going Thursday, which would be good. But I know
they're not going. They're not going out at the minute. I think some of it is because some fans don't rate us at the moment, so they're not going to come over for it. That their choice. I also think some of it is. I think there's more of an appetite for the league right now.
Yeah,
I honestly think you'll see a bigger push for the domestic cups than you will the Champions League this year.
Carabao Cup for me has to be a must this year for me. Has to be a must. I think because you think right.
Do get back to that winning feeling again?
Yeah. Was it Pep's first year we won the Centurions, right? That Carabao Cup gave that boost. I think we need that boost again. This new team needs a boost to win again of last year.
Yes.
So, for me, Carabao all the way this year.
Yeah. Hello, my old friend. Basically, for me,
I'm taking it right now. I'm absolutely taking Carabao Cup right now.
I do need to go. I need to do my March Wembley chance. I do need to do my Wembley. Been missing my Wembley March days.
Right, I am now going to end mine. So just because we are over 2 hours, and yeah, I've got things going on in the morning. I'm sure we all do. Yep. Listen, thank you so much for everyone who's joined us. We've loved having you on. I'm sorry I've not got all the comments up like Martin does. He's exceptional at that. I've done my best that I can. Thank you for all the super chats.
No, really big up Ozzy. Big up Ozzy. Ozzy's learning on the job and he's doing a magnificent job. So I just want to say a big thank you to Ozzy. Because this is only about his third or fourth show doing this properly. Normally I'm sort of safety netting behind him, but the last 4 shows he's done out of him and him alone. So big up to him. He's doing a magnificent job. And there will be an update on the podcast soon. I promise you.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Thank you, Martin. I appreciate that. And Luke, really do appreciate it.
And big up to Luke. Go and give Not in My Lifetime, Luke and Bebo. We got out coming up this week, mate?
Yeah, we've got a preview tomorrow with Rich from Red Devil United. It's tomorrow, which should be good. About 8:30 tomorrow, which should be good. And then we've got some stuff at the pipeline coming up as well. We'll announce soon. But yeah, it's a good stuff to look forward to. For sure.
Awesome, mate. Well, it's, we all look forward to that. And please, mate, don't be a stranger. It's always good having you on. So you want to come on, mate, please do. Just let us know. All right. Right.
Makes a change for me getting crashing his shows.
Yeah, it does.
Right then. Well, like I said, thanks everyone, and please hit those likes on the way out, and we'll see you on the next one. And up the Blues.
You're all.